So good evening. For this is module 2, which is the integumentary system. So here again is the outline of our lecture for tonight. We will be dealing with a combination of viral, fungal, and bacterial causes of skin diseases. Wala akong cancer na sinama na. Okay? So wala din akong yung mga inborn defects like your nevus, your Fayolay spots, yung mga neurofibromatosis, hindi ko na sinama yon. Yung mga na-involved lang talaga sa atin as a medical technologies. Okay? So, common skin infection, so dermatophytosis. So when you hear dermatophytosis, it is an infection of the skin, hair, and nails caused by a species of a dermatophyte, fungi that live within the epidermal keratin and do not penetrate the deeper structures. Class, ang fungal sa balat lang. Okay? Sa appendages mo lang, sa buhok, sa kuko, sa balat. Once it reach your, the deeper layers, it reach your blood, hindi yan talaga usually mangyayari. Unless you are again immunocompromised. And yung sinabi ko before, this happens only kung ikaw ay may mahinang immune system. Okay? So yung mga fungal infection of the lung, yung mga aspergillosis mo, yung candidiasis mo yung sa bibig, no? So that will give you a hint na probably merong underlying cause dito. Okay? So etiology, Trichophyton, Microsporum, Pityrosporum, Epidermophyton species. And ang pathophys nito is that they actually digest keratin, results in scaly skin, broken hairs, crumbling nails. Keratin, no? So, when you say of keratin, so this is found where on what type of histologic classification. So these are found only in stratified squamous keratinized. You remember you have stratified squamous non-keratinized sa vagina, sa rectal area, sa mouth. Okay? In short, ang stratified squamous keratinized, okay, kinakalyo. Kasi your calluses are made up of strong layers of keratin. Okay? Hindi ka kinakalyo sa vagina. Okay? So, kapag ka nagkakalyo kasi, palaging ginagamit. Okay? Yung kamay, yung paa. So, hindi ka kakalyuhin sa vagina sa puwet kung palaging ginagamit. Probably baka ano na yon, warts na yon. If you see a growth in those areas, wala namang keratin yun eh. So, ang isipin mo, probably that is caused by your human papilloma virus, which is notoriously known for causing warts. Okay? So here, I, laboratory investigations, the most common will be the skin scrapings, hair and nail clippings. Okay? Analyze with potassium hydroxide, your KOH preparation. Since these fungi live as mold, look for a hypha or a mycelia. So, pinaka-common talaga natin na ginagamit ang KOH. Okay? So, minsan makaka-receive kayo ng request, KOH, skin KOH, no? So, minsan magsi-scale kayo dyan. Okay? You will use a blade, of course, pero hindi nyo susugatan yung pasyente, no? Just enough na makakuha ka ng skin sample. And then you will put KUH there and then you will look under the microscope. So if you are able to demonstrate hypha and mycelia, then probably that's actually a fungal infection. Okay? So direct detection of your fungal elements. Direct detection of your fungal elements involve this uh, media. Okay. First, you have your 10 to 20% KUH. That's the most common. Useful for observing fungal elements in hair, skin, nails, tissues by breakdown of keratin and skin layers. Okay. Next, you have a calcofluor white. Please remember that calcofluor white is actually a staining technique. Okay, so this is a staining technique wherein fluorochrome stain that binds with cellulose and chitin in fungal cell walls can be used with 10 to 20% KOH. Okay, so ang step dito, you will first use a 10 to 20% KOH para ma-breakdown mo yung keratin and your superficial skin layers. Then you can now do calcofluor white staining. Okay? India ink. Okay? India ink. This is very specific, no? So this is a presumptive identification of Cryptococcus neoformans in the CSF, in the cerebrospinal fluid, capsule produced by yeast repelling India ink particles. Okay, so Cryptococcus neoformans is a fungal species in the CSF seen in cryptococcal meningitis. Okay, so your cryptococcal neoformans is seen in CSF seen in CSF in cases of cryptococcal meningitis. Cryptococcal meningitis is one of the opportunistic infections in HIV. So, hindi na ka na mag-iisip kasi fungal yan eh. Okay? Kapag ang meningitis ng isang pasyente ay due to a staphylococcal meningitis, meningococcemia, okay? Meningitis. Your meningococcemia that's caused by Neisseria meningitidis. Okay? Pwede hindi mo isipin na HIV yan eh. But if this is the case that in the ink positive for neoformans CSF, then you think of HIV already. Okay? So India ink, how does it appear in India ink? Okay? India ink, you have a light yellow halo against a dark background. So remember that your Cryptococcus neoformans has a capsule resistant to the stain. So, therefore, ang mangyayari ay, so this is your Cryptococcus neoformans, then uh, light yellow siya against dark background. Ano yung dark na yun? That's the India ink already, but it will not penetrate the uh, capsule of your C neoformans. Therefore, the light yellow here is actually the content of your C neoformans at yung ilaw yung nagpapayellow. No? So makikita ninyo na hindi niya talaga inabsorb. Akala nga namin bubble pero hindi eh. That's actually neoformans. Therefore, India ink is a form of a negative staining. Okay? Your Gomori methenemen silver or periodic acid shift is used for identification of fungi in tissue sections. Your gem sustain is used for detection of H. capsulatum in blood and bone marrow. And your Malditoff is used for the rapid and sensitive method for identification of yeast and molds. Okay? So, as much as possible, hanggang we, we want to ganun, hanggang doon lang talaga yung trabaho ng lab. Staining lang for fungi. Never, or probably it's very rare that we will culture them. Okay? Kasi ang kino-culture talaga natin ay bacteria. Okay? So, it's very rare for, naku, hindi pala malinaw. Na very rare na magpapakulture. Okay, but if ever magpapakulture, please remember that the fungal culture is done at 25 degrees Celsius to 30 degrees Celsius for 4 to 6 weeks. Ang tagal ng growth. No? Ang tagal ng growth. Baka naman pagka nag-grow yan, patay na yung pasyente or magaling na. Okay? Magaling na yung pasyente. So, it's not ideal actually. Fungal culture is probably used for confirmation, for studies, and follow-up no, doon sa pasyente. Okay? First, we have your SDA or your suborod dextrose agar. This is actually a nutrient-poor agar. Okay? This is a nutrient-poor agar. It has an acid pH and a high dextrose concentration, which inhibits bacterial growth but permits the growth of fungi. Okay, the purpose is a general purpose medium for cultivation, isolation of many fungi. So again, pinapatay niya ang bacteria pero nagpe-permit siya ng growth ng fungi. Next, you have your inhibitory mold agar or your IMA, nutrient-rich medium containing chloramphenicol, okay, and sometimes gentamicin or ciprofloxacin. It selectively isolates fungi from specimens that may contain commensal bacterial flora. Okay? Your brain heart infusion naman is a nutrient-rich medium. Again, this is a nutrient-rich medium. CSDA ay nutrient-poor medium. Okay? So your BHI is containing brain meat infusion, peptone and dextrose. Chloramphenicol and gentamicin can be added for selectivity. Therefore, it is a non-selective formulation general purpose medium for cultivation of many fungi. Actually, ginagamit din siya sa bacteria. Okay? So when supplemented, it is used selective isolation of fungi from specimens that may contain commensal bacterial flora. In the first step of ang ginagawa kasi ng BHI, it's non-selective. Pero madami siyang medium. For example, you can process na-receive ang specimen on a Friday and then walang pasok ng Saturday, Sunday. Pwedeng ilagay yung specimen doon para hindi mamatay, no? So, ibig sabihin, nagpapatubo ka na ng bacteria on the weekend. And then, kapag ka ganun, pwede mo na siyang i-culture, no? So, sa mga specific medium. Okay? So, we kept on uh, coming across chloramphenicol. So I would just like to add that in HEMA, chloramphenicol is actually, it is an antibiotic that is no longer used, phenicol, because it causes transient aplastic anemia. Okay? Aplastic no anemia. So in acute in aplastic anemia, you have a defective bone marrow, meaning lahat ng lineage ng cells mo wala kasi wala kang red bone marrow. So when you are taking chloramphenicol, you can develop aplastic anemia, but that is transient only. Okay? Meron kang aplastic anemia due to radiation, excessive exposure to radiation, namatay ang inyong bone marrow sa katawan. Therefore, you do know, you not just produce less uh, cell lineage, but also to the point that you are no longer producing them at all. Okay? Then you have your cycloheximide containing media. The cyclohexamide inhibits the growth of many saprophytic fungi while performing the growth of most pathogenic fungi. Chloramphenicol and gentamicin can still be added, and selective isolation of slow-growing pathogenic fungi that may be overgrown by rapidly growing saprophytic fungi and frequently used to treat dermatophytes or thermally dimorphic fungi and fungi inhibited by your cyclohexamide. Your chrome agar, okay, so again, there's chloramphenicol that inhibits bacteria. Chromogenic mix selects for yeast and differentiates by color formation. So here, it is used for presumptive identification of your Candida albicans. Same media, okay? But pagka nag-grow, uh, mag-iiba lang yung kulay. Okay? So Candida albicans, the growth will be light to medium green. Anong medium green, no? Hindi ko alam yung medium, pero alam ko lang light green. Pero yung light to medium green, parang hindi ko siya. Ma-imagine. Basta green. Tropicalis is dark blue. And again, dark blue. And then Crusade, uh, that's flat pink according to the book. I don't know what flat pink means. Siguro flat lang talaga siya na pink. Or is it a color? No. However, that's your Candida albicans, Candida tropicalis, and your Candida crusei. So we have again, so we have now your special media, okay? Your specialized fungal media for the which promotes characteristic reproductive structures and pigmentation useful for morphologic identification of mold isolates, and that will be cornmeal or potato, as in patatas, potato dextrose agar, dextrose, okay, dextrose, okay, agar. And then you have your agar for promotion of characteristic structures, such as your chlamydospores, artroconidia, useful for morphologic identification of yeast isolates. You have your cornmeal or rice, as in bigas, rice agar with Twin 80. Hindi ko alam kung ano yung Twin 80. But that's TWEEN80. Again, so cornmeal or rice agar with Twin 80. Next, for the cultivation, isolation of your Malassezia species, which requires lipid supplementation for growth, you have your, dami, susulat ko na lang sa kabila. Dito, ito yan you have your Saborod dextrose agar, you have your Dixon medium, you have your Liming Notman medium, okay? Then you have, if you were going to demonstrate phenol oxidase activity in C. neoformans isolates, uh, you have your Niger, Niger agar or birdseed agar, no? Okay, so syempre this is C. neoformans. The colonies will be colored black. Okay, again, if that is C. neoformans in your Niger agar or your birdseed agar, the colonies will be colored black. Okay, so management, topicals may be used as a first line agents for, okay, tama. Your Tinea corporis or cruris, Tinea pedis, or clotrimazole or terbinafine cream applied twice a day, continued till 1 week after complete resolution of lesions. Okay? Actually, gusto ko nga tanggalin tong part na to eh. Pero sinasabi ko na lang, no? So, again, so kapag ang gusto ko lang i-highlight dito, class, if you're going to take your antifungal medication orally, that's very hepatotoxic na pwede kang manilaw. Okay? Pwede kang manilaw dyan. So, that's very hepatotoxic. So, as much as possible, kung simple fungal infection lang naman, pwede na yung topical. However, the downside is ang tagal tumalab. Okay? So, in cases of tinea corporis or cruris or your Jack itch, hadhad, alipunga, tinea pedis, Okay? Pwedeng clotrimazole cream ang pwede mong ibigay, which is a form of a topical agent. Okay? Applied BID is twice a day. Okay? Continued till 1 week after complete resolution of lesions. So even if you no longer see completely lesion, you extend it to 1 week, no, para lang sure. Oral therapy is indicated for onychomycosis. Onychomycosis is tinea unggoyum, yung ano sa kuko. Plus, minsan may mapapansin kayo na itim sa kuko ninyo sa paa. Akala nyo patay, pero ang tagal na nun. Pero tumutubo. That is a form of a um, fungal infection ng kuko. Okay? So, pwede mo din gamitin ang terbinafine or Lamisil or itraconazole or your Sporanox. Itraconazole is a cytochrome P450 inhibitor. It alters metabolism of non-sedating antihistamines such as your cisapride, your digoxin, and your HMG-CoAs reductase inhibitors. Okay? So ito yung mga statins mo, yung mga atorvastatin, mga ganun. So anyway, sinasabi ko lang that itraconazole is actually a P450 inhibitor which is one of the enzyme systems in the liver. Kapag ginamit niyo siya, pwede niyang pahabain ang half-life ng mga gamot na to. So, ibig sabihin, matagal siya bago mawala sa katawan. Tapos, iinom ka na naman ng gamot na yun. No? So, that will result from a therapeutic dose to a lethal dose. Okay? So, pwedeng maging mataas ang value niyan. Okay? So, tinea capitis, fungal infection of the head. It is a non-scarring alopecia with scale. Plus, makakita na kayo na may alopecia. Okay? So, for those who have alopecia, uh, na merong scale, okay, tinea capitis could be a reason, no? So, this is caused by Trichophyton tonsurans and your Microsporum species. It affects mainly children of the black population race and immunocompromised adults, and it's very contagious and may be transmitted from barber hats, theater seats, pets. Kaya nga ako pag nag-aangkas, ah, parang gusto kong dalawahin yung hairnet, no? So, medyo dahan-dahan lang, lalo na ngayon na tag-ulan, basa lagi ang helmet nila. Okay? So, the signs and symptoms, you may have a round, scaly patches of alopecia, pero pwede kang makita ng broken off hairs, and if tissue reaction is acute, you have a carrion or a buggy elevated purulent inflammation, may form secondarily from an infection by bacteria and result in scarring. So parang meron kang uh, nakakapa na boggy, elevated na may nana dun sa ulo. Okay? So purulent meaning may nana, no? So that can be a sign of tinea capitis. For the examination of this, you will use a Woods light examination of hair, which will show green fluorescence only for Microsporum infection. Okay? Cultures of scales, hair, shafts may be done on Sabarad's agar. And of course, pinakamadali, you have a microscopic examination of KUH preparation of scales, okay, na magpapakita sa inyo ng hypha. Tinea corporis is ringworm. This is probably the most common. Okay? Plus, pag may nakita kayo na tao na merong bilog, tapos merong ano sa gitna, sa katawan, sa braso, that's a ringworm. This is not, ewan ko bakit ringworm yung tawag. Siguro mukha siyang bulate na nag-form ng ring sa katawan. This is not caused by a worm. This is not caused by a parasite. This is caused by a fungal infection forming a ring appearance, no? Like a worm forming a ring appearance. Okay, hence probably that's why it's called ringworm. Okay, definition it is a pruritic, scaly, round oval plaque with erythematous margin and a central clearing. Single or multiple lesion ang makikita ninyo dito, and peripheral enlargement of lesions. And then you can see them in your trunks, limbs, and your face caused by this species. Common ito sa farm children and those with infected pets. but it really depend but on the Philippine setting, common talaga to sa mga closed community like yung mga na hindi malinis. Okay? So, yun. Then you have your hadhad. Okay? Your hadhad is your tinea cruris or your jack itch. You have a scaly patch plaque, a well-defined curved border, and a central clearing on medial thigh. Does not involve the scrotum. So sa mga guys dito, kasi common to sa lalaki, as long as hindi involved ang scrotum, that's not hadhad. Okay? So ang mangyayari kasi nito, baka yung brief lang masyadong masikip. Tapos magpapawis buong araw. Okay? So may amoy na, no? So pag nangyari yon, maligo na lang kasi that can now cause, uh, that can favor fungal growth. Okay? It is pruritic, erythematous, and dry and macerated, caused by your Trichophyton rubrum, mentagrophytes, and your Epidermophyton flocosum. Okay? Common in adult males. Okay? Then you have your tinea pedis or alipunga. You have a scaly pruritic or maceration of the web spaces and powdery scaling of the soles. So like this, for example, ito yung kamay mo. Ganda. So nandito siya, no? Okay? So nandiyan yung parang kate doon sa, ay hindi pala, sorry, pedis pala, paa pala to, no? So dapat pa yung drawing ko. Okay? So, parang ito yung ganun din, no? So, nandito yung ano, nandiyan yung mga growth ng mga pruritic scaling. Appearance nito, you have a white vesicle, bulla, scale maceration, and it is interdigital. So, it's between your digits. Okay? Epidemiology, chronic infections are common in atopics. Heat, humidity, occlusive footwear are predisposing factors. You have two types class, okay? Acute and chronic. So sa mga to, ito yung may dalawang temporal quality, no? So, acute, you have a red white scale bulla, often with maceration. Nagfi-flare of chronic tinea pedis as in kamot sila ng kamot. Okay? And then to the point na nagkakamot sila, nagkakaroon ngayon ng sugat at nagkaroon ng infection secondarily by a bacteria. Chronic, akala nila okay na. So, na kinakaya nila, no? Kinakaya nila yung kate. Hindi kasi hindi naman makate, no? Ang Makate, itong acute infection. The chronic one is non-pruritic. You have a pink scaling keratosis on the soles, meaning it's not scaling, sorry, it's not just scaling, it is forming keratin layers, no, dun sa talampakan. And on sides of foot, often in a moccasin distribution, sites interdigital, especially in the fourth web space. Okay? For your tinea manum, you have an acute blisters at the edge of the red areas of the hand. Manum meaning manual, then that's your tinea manum. Okay? So chronic, you have a single dry scaly patch, and primary fungal infection of the hand is actually quite rare, usually associated with tinea pedis with one hand, 2 feet syndrome. Anong one hand? Okay? So, pag nagkamot ka kasi ng paa, nagsisimula yun sa paa eh. Kinamot mo yung dalawang paa mo ng isang kamay. So nahawa yung isang kamay mo. Therefore, you have your one hand, 2 feet syndrome. Okay? Etiology is the same as your tinea pedis. Okay? Tinea unguyum, or your onychomycosis, crumbling of distally dystrophic nails, a yellowish opaque subungual hyperkeratotic debris. You have a toenail infection usually precedes fingernail infection. So ang mangyayari nito, mapapansin nyo sa ilalim ng kuko ninyo, ano ba to? Parang sobrang kapal ng kumo, no? Parang akala mo cuticle lang, pero hindi, fungal na yon. Tapos kulay itim pa siya, no? Kulay yellow pa siya. Naiiba yung kulay niya sa lahat ng kuko ninyo. Huwag na kayong magdalawang isip, No, that's your tinea no? And your etiology is your T-rubrum in 90% of all toenail infection. For a while lang. Okay. Next, we have your Candida. Candida can affect the mouth, can affect the skin, can affect the lungs. Hindi ko alam kung sinama ko siya sa lung topic. Okay? Hindi ko rin alam kung nasama ko siya sa GI topic. But please remember that Candida can affect those three organ system. Okay? Siyempre, skin tayo. Of course, we will discuss cutaneous candidiasis, no? For cutaneous candidiasis, there's an overgrowth of your normal commensal of the mouth. I would like to highlight a normal commensal of the mouth, vagina, or your lower GIT. It's a normal commensal. Ibig sabihin, normal na hindi nagkakos ng damage. When does this overgrow? Okay? Again, if you listen, di ko alam kung anong module ko siya diniscuss, but when you have antibiotic overdose, for example, piperacillin tazobactam ka na, naka broad spectrum antibiotics ka pa, tas lahat yun IV, no? Tapos may macrolides ka pa, may penicillin ka pa. Okay, then you have your tetracycline pa, no? So this is a common side effect nung uh, patient who have multiple infections. Okay? So when you have multiple infections, that demands multiple antibiotics. So when your antibiotics is targeting the bad bacteria, okay, it can also target the good bacteria. Remember, they are still bacteria. So in the mouth or in the skin or in the vagina, okay, so when there's an antibiotic overdose, they can kill the bad bacteria, maintaining the good environment dun sa bibig ninyo. Okay, when that happens, there's going to be an opportunistic growth of this normal commensal organism. So only infects the outer layer of the epithelium of the mucous membrane or the skin. The presentation is that you can have a red macerated area. You have a glistening surface. You have a scaling along the advancing border, and the initial is a papule, then becomes a pustule. Okay. Important feature is the presence of a satellite pustules beyond the border of the main infection. So you will now identify first the main area ng infection. And then in time, if it develops satellite pustules, so these are small lesions that are like, for example, this is your main lesion, and then nagkaroon ka ng mga satellite na parang may nana dyan, pustules, then you can suspect that that is a cutaneous candidiasis, the diasis already. Okay? Oral candidiasis, white patches easily scrape off to leave a red raw base, a chronic red raw gums, tongue, and buccal mucosa. No? So, oral candidiasis, again, from the mouth, in the mouth, you can see here their patches easily scrape off to leave a red raw base. So, this is common. Sabihin niyo, ay, ang puti ng dilam ng bata, no, baka merong oral candidiasis. Baka naman gatas lang yun. But there are some cases na merong adult ah, na may puti din yung dila. Then pag in-scrape off mo, nagkakaroon ng bleeding. Then then that is what you call your leukoplakia. Okay? So, That's it, no? So that's how you identify oral candidiasis from a leukoplakia. There's bleeding in leukoplakia. Okay? Pityriasis versicolor, it is caused by a normal commensal, such as your yeast and common superficial fungal induced rash. Huwag na yan. Basta remember then that is a under your cutaneous candidiasis. Presentation, flaky, discolored patches on the chest and back, small, well-defined, light, scaly patches. May makikita kayo minsan sa dibdib ng mga kakilala ninyo na ano siya eh, ah, para siyang pula na puti na di mo maintindihan. Madami siya no sa dibdib, parang ganon-ganon. Then that can be a pityriasis versicolor. Okay, wala akong picture kasi nandun yun sa una kong PowerPoint na may audio. Hindi ko na siya ginamit. Okay. So either hyperpigmented or hypopigmented. So when you actually study, so sorry, mali ko lang talaga to, no? I forgot that when you nakapag derma pala ang topic, the approach should be visual. No? So because it's the only way that the students can understand, even the doctors, no? Kaya ang mahal ng libro ng ano derma. Kasi colored talaga, hindi pwede yung Xerox lang na black and white kasi hindi mo siya ma-appreciate. Anyway, you have your next you have your ectoparasitic causes of skin infection. First is your scabies caused by your Sarcoptes cabeyi or your scabies mite. You have a human infestation originating from pigs, horses, and dogs. Dogs ang pinaka-common, mild and self-limiting. Scabies infestation from other humans never cure without intervention. So if you know someone with scabies, medyo lumayo ka na kasi mahirap no? Mahirap sa i-treat, no? So what do these mites do? They live in the stratum corneum. They don't get any deeper naman there. Okay? So they eat the corneal keratinocytes and make tunnels by eating them. And of course, they will mate on the host skin, and the fertilized female mites will burrow into the stratum corneum, which is 1 millimeter deep. And then they do this by secreting salivary secretions containing proteolytic enzymes, and they digest. Therefore, it can digest your keratinocytes. So it has a high prevalence in children, 50% in adults, 25% in tropical remote communities, and spread by close physical contact. The presentation is itch. Okay? So masyadong makate. Exacerbated at night and hot after showers. Itchy, excoriated, parang na lacerate na rash on trunk, associated with scaly burrows on the fingers and the wrist, and often vesicles and pustules on the palms and soles and sometimes on the scalp. Okay? So how do you diagnose this? Plus, you can see here pag may nabasa kayong clinical diagnosis, it's different from a laboratory diagnosis. Okay? Kasi sinasabi ko lang kasi baka you will encounter this in the upcoming lesson. Meaning, clinical diagnosis, this is based on the knowledge, the clinical eye, and the skills of the doctor alone. Wala kang inano dyan, wala kang ginawang test. Okay? So, you diagnose uh, scabies if the patient has chronic itch with symmetrical rash and the skin scraping. Okay, you look for scabies mite. So therefore, you can request for a KUH also. Baka kasi fungal, and then by incidental finding, you can see a scabies mite. You have an intact larva, nymphs or adults, then you see the unhatched or hatched eggs, molted skin of the mites. You have a fragments of molted skin and mite feces be seen. Okay, it can be treated with topical permethrin or oral ivermectin. Ang hirap na hanapin ng ivermectin. Okay? Saan nyo na-encounter yung ivermectin? Nung COVID, di ba? Parang ang daming gumagamit ng ivermectin. So it has been used as an off-label use to treat COVID. Of course, regardless of how you clean yourself to treat the rashes, kung hindi mo naman lilinisin yung beddings, chairs, floors mo, wala rin mangyayari. Okay? So wash, sun, vacuum, surface insecticides can be used. That is why kapag ka may ganito nga yung pasyente, sabi ko, lininisin yung kama, hindi, tapon nyo na lang po, bilhin na kayo ng bago. Kasing hirap no? What if meron pa din? Okay? So for community prevention, you treat all close contacts, especially in indigenous communities. Therefore, lahat ay you can simultaneous effective treatment. Okay? Treat again in 7 days. Pediculosis or head lice, kuto. Okay? Meron pa bang may kuto dito? Well, hopefully wala nang may kuto sa inyo, no? Kasi usually bata lang yan, no? Common in primary school children in the tropics, higher prevalence in Aboriginal children. Of course, you can uh, see this when you are doing a fine tooth combing, no? Yung pangkuha ng kuto. But of course, before you do that, you can actually use a conditioner first para medyo malambot yung buhok ninyo. Okay? So you will wipe them, combings, on that white tissue paper and then ikita ninyo, nandun na yung mga kuto, yung mga lisa. No? Pwede mong tirisin, pwede mong pinabahala. No? Then you have your body lice, your pediculus humanus corporis. These naman live on clothes and come to the body to feed. Okay? Pero ang ano sa lahat is your Tirus pubis or your pubic lice. This is actually sexually transmitted. Blood feeder. Crabs ang tawag dito. Yes. Okay, so these are your crabs, no? So can infect any body hair, actually. So, is it safe to shave? Actually, hindi naman talaga rin recommend mag-shave down there. You can trim. Okay, but in cases of Tirus pubis, baka pwede ka na mag-shave. Okay? So can infect any body hair, but rarely the head. Okay. The life cycle, eggs laid in hair nits, larvae grow into adults, and adults will suck your blood and they will live in the hair. Transmission, head-to-head contact. So yung mga katabi niyo matulog, uh, wag niyo munang tabihan. Okay? Then you have your scalp and neck can be itchy. Nits are not noticeable on the hair. And the best method to diagnose this is, the conditioner and fine comb technique. It's very practical for parents, cost-effective, high sensitivity. Conditioner stuns the lice by suffocating them and prevents them from running away. So here are your management, conditioner, physical removal, you cut the hair, topical insecticidal cream, good idea to wash the pillows and hats. Then you use a hot wash. Okay. You treat all body hair for pubic lice. Okay. So reasons for treatment failure, you have an inadequate application of the product, lice are resistant to insecticide, and failure to retrieve or kill the nymphs emerge from the eggs, and again, of course, reinfection. Okay. Next, you have viral. Sa skin, ang pinaka-common na makikita ninyo is the viral warts. Okay? So these are benign tumors of the skin, common in children. Pag sa children, mawawala kasi ito ng kusa. Pero pag sa matanda, medyo mawawala din naman ng kusa. Pero pansin nyo bumabalik. Okay? Infectious spread by direct contact. You need by what I mean here is that pag hinawakan nyo yung viral wart ng katabi ninyo, hindi naman siya usually ahawa. You need friction here. So that is why it is actually sexually transmitted kung dun sa may vaginal area, sa penile area ng partner ninyo, no? Ah, pwede kasi dun magkaroon ng warts. Okay? So, word of advice, suriin mo mabuti. Okay? Pag may nakita, wag na. Okay? So typically from HPV, your human papilloma virus virus. And I would like to reiterate this one. Uh, HPV 6 and 11, these are your genital cutaneous warts. 16 and 18, this is your cervical and penile carcinoma. Okay, you have two famous uh, vaccine. You have your Gardasil and your Cervarix. Nag-update na kasi, ay sorry. Okay. So nag-update na ngayon ang ano, ang Gardasil. So in Gardasil, quadrivalent siya, okay? Meaning it can cover all these four strains, while Cervarix bivalent, dalawa lang. Ito lang, 16 and 18 lang. Sorry. Okay? So 16 and 18 lang. Again, Gardasil is quadrivalent. It can cover all these, while si Cervarix can cover only 16 and 18. Okay? So remember, itong dalawang to can cover cancer. But Cervarix, okay? Cervarix cannot cover your warts. So that is why class, so sinasabi ko, ang Gardasil Cervarix ba pang babae lang? Hindi. Pwede yan sa lalaki. Okay? Because you can still have penile carcinoma and genital cutaneous parts here, especially to those who are involved in anal sex. Okay? For the men who are involved in anal sex, I advise that you have yourself protected by getting these vaccines. No? So I used to cauterize anal warts. Then ang hirap. Kasi ang hirap, no? Kasi ano eh, nagbi-bleed talaga siya, no? Tapos pabalik-balik, tapos hindi makadumi ng maayos ng pasyente kasi pag dinaanan ng dumi yung puwet, mai-infect ngayon yung pinag-cauterisan, yung pinagsunugan ko, no? And then may secondary infection. So, I suggest you everyone, no? Kung kaya naman, medyo mahal lang talaga siya, that you have yourself covered by this, especially for the women, because remember, HPV cervical cancer is the only vaccine preventable cancer, no? So kung meron namang paraan, gawan na ng paraan. Okay? The appearance is verrucous, meaning parang pag ganun-ganun siya. Can often see a tiny black dot in the middle due to a thrombosed capillary vessel. So yun ang magiging uh, palatandaan ninyo. Minsan may makikita kayo sa paa ninyo na parang akala mo kalyo pero meron kang maliit na vessel sa gitna. May maliit na dot sa gitna. That's actually a thrombosed capillary vessel. Wala nang isip-isip pa, that is wart. That's not a callus. Okay? So the common so this is common on the back of the fingers, the toes, the knees. Common warts, you have your skin, plantar, and palmar. Ano pansin nyo dito? These three, they all have keratin. Okay? For genital warts, you have your cervix, your vulva, and your penis. And cervical papillomas can cause cervical cancer and even laryngeal papilloma. Okay? Bakit? Kasi I will let your imagination run wild. Okay? Remember, your cervical cancer is sexually transmitted by the HPV. Kasi ang babae nag-receive ng penis, no? During sex. So paano umabot sa larynx, no? So yun na yun, no? So kayo na bahala kung paano napunta sa larynx yung HPV. Okay? Next, there's no reliable treatment actually. Here, 50% of childhood warts disappear within 6 months. 90% are gone in 2 years. Many don't even bother with treatment, surgical excision, chemical treatment, cryotherapy, electrosurgery, cautery. Ito yung pinaka-common. Ito yung masakit eh. Pero ito yung amoy ah, nasusunog na buhok, no? Parang laman kasi talagang kinukuryente siya parang. It is contagious. You have a central blood vessel bleeding profusely when the surface is broken. Okay? Ah, break lang muna ako ng 5 minutes, okay? Kasi I attended to 50 plus patients today. Ang sakit na ng lalamunan ko. Okay? Break muna. Okay, so this is the human uh, herpes viruses. Okay, yung HHV. Okay? 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 So you can see here na merong ang human herpes class, merong latency na tinatawag. Okay? At meron siyang reactivation. Okay? So pag ikaw nagkaroon ng mga to at gumaling ka, huwag kang muna magpaka-sure kasi nare-reactivate sila. Okay? Nare-reactivate sila kasi natutulog lang sila sa mga itong mga lugar na to. Okay? Again, ulitin ko ha. Pag ikaw nagka-herpes human virus infection, which is itong mga to, yung mga yan, ito yung magiging sakit mo. Okay? Gumaling ka dyan, pero huwag ka muna magpapaka-sure kasi there's always a reactivation. Yan ang pangit sa herpes, no? They exhibit a reactivation feature. So first, let's start. Uh, First, you have human simplex virus 1, the sorry, the the clinical disease in acute cases ay acute gingivitis, pharyngitis, skin infection of the hand and finger, and genital herpes. Okay? HSV1. Gumaling ka dyan, but they stay dormant in your dorsal root ganglia, in your DRG, and when they reactivate, they will now cause herpes labialis and herpes encephalitis, which is a severe type of your encephalitis. Okay? Next, you have HSV2, herpes simplex virus 2. It can cause skin infection, acute gingivitis, and genital herpes. Okay? And when reactivated, it can still cause uh, genital herpes and herpes meningitis naman. Again, herpes encephalitis is for HSV1, herpes meningitis is for HSV2. Okay? The both of them can cause genital herpes, skin infection, and acute gingivitis, but only HSV1 can cause pharyngitis. Okay? Cytomegalovirus, okay? Cytomegalovirus, mononucleosis-like syndrome. It is a disseminated infection, and then it will stay dormant, latent in your histiocyte endothelial cells and your T lymphocytes, and then when reactivated, it can still cause a disseminated infection. Varicella zoster virus is varicella. What is varicella? Bulutong. Okay? So bulutong, pinaka-common to class no. So yung mga pasyente nagkabulutong, gumaling, and then when they reach senior age na bumaba ang immune system nila, nare-reactivate sila kasi nga bababa ang immune system nila. The virus only sleeps in the dorsal root ganglia, but it will now manifest as zoster. What is zoster? Shingles. Sino dito nakakita na ng shingles? So I hope you don't have shingles, no? So lahat yung mga nagkabulutong dito can experience shingles. So EBV, skip ko muna tong Epstein-Barr virus, medyo mahaba kasi ito. And then your human herpes virus 6, you have your Rosola, and then will be dormant in T cells, and it can be reactivated in immunocompromised host. Actually, lahat ito sa immunocompromised host class. Reactivation can happen in an immunocompromised host, which are your diabetic patient, your transplant patient, your HIV patient. Okay? And then the human herpes virus again is just Rosola, lymphocytes, and then the activation in immunocompromised host. Human herpes virus 8, unknown, no? Unknown. and can be dormant in B lymphocytes and endothelial cells, and it can cause cancer in a form of a Kaposi sarcoma. Kaposi sarcoma is one of the doon na siya sa disease ng last stage ng AIDS, HIV infection. No? So you develop cancer from HIV because HIV made you what? Immunocompromised. You got contracted with human herpes virus 8. Therefore, you had a reactivation in the form of a Kaposi sarcoma. And not just a cancer ng Kaposi sarcoma, but also a primary cavity lymphoma. Okay, so Epstein-Barr virus, I don't wanna teach this actually, pero parang kailangan ko. In part of immunosero part, again. Okay, so you have your Epstein-Barr virus. Okay, your Epstein-Barr virus, nandito yung disease, nandito yung stage of infection, and then yung mga added notes lang. Okay, first you have infectious mononucleosis. Okay? Infectious mononucleosis. Next is your X-link lymphoproliferative disease. Okay? So what you have to understand is that these are all primary infection sa stage. Okay? Ano makikita ninyo dito sa may infectious mononucleosis? This is usually seen in adolescent and young adults. Okay? Ang X-linked naman, lymphoproliferative disease, ay syempre X-linked ano kung expect mo? So it mainly affects males. Dito meron kang overactive immune response for EBV. Okay? Also known as Duncan disease. Walang apostrophe ha. It's Duncan disease. Again, yung primary mo, infectious mononucleosis. Infectious mono. Class, have you heard of mono? No, the kissing disease. Okay, so that's infectious mononucleosis. Adolescent and young adults kasi sila yung mahilig makipaglaplapan, no? So kung kani-kanino, and then your X-linked lymphoproliferative disease is also primary, affects males, overactive immune response for EBV, also known as Duncan disease. Okay. Doon naman tayo sa mga susunod. You have your Burkitt lymphoma. So ang daming sakit ni no? Epstein-Barr. Burkitt lymphoma. You have your Hodgkin lymphoma. You have your primary effusion lymphoma. You have your lymphomatoid granulomatosis. Okay? Then you have post-transplant granulomatosis. sorry. Post-transplant lymphoproliferative disorder. Okay? Next, you have oral hair, hairy, leukoplakia. Ito yung sinabi ko kanina na leukoplakia. It bleeds kasi it's not an infection. It is actually a form of malignancy. Okay? Then you have your nasopharyngeal carcinoma. So what can you say about EBV? It's cancer producing, no? So all of them are what? Latency. So meaning, basta lahat yan, no? It shows latency or latent. So ibig sabihin, pwede kang, nung nagka-infectious mononucleosis ka, gumaling ka, pwede kang magkaroon ng kahit alin sa mga yan. Kaya dahan-dahan, class, ha? Huwag masyadong mapupusok. Okay? So, ayun. So, anong meron dito kay Burkitt lymphoma? Ang liit ng screen ko. Lakayan ko na lang. Okay. Burkitt lymphoma is sporadic in distribution. Okay? And associated with immunodeficiency. Okay? Hodgkin lymphoma. Uh, EBV is the cause in 50% of cases. Okay? So pagka ikaw ay meron kang Hodgkin lymphoma, half nun ay due to Epstein-Barr virus. Primary effusion lymphoma, EBV in 70% of cases. Lymphomatoid granulomatosis. This is actually a systemic angiodestructive lymphoproliferative disease. Ano? So angio meaning blood vessel. Okay, it destructs your blood vessel na nagpo-proliferate sa lymph na. So next, you have your oral hair leukoplakia. This is secondary to an HIV infection. So again, HIV can what? Give your mouth oral candidiasis, or it can give your mouth what you call oral hair leukoplakia. Okay? Seen in HIV infection. Nasopharyngeal carcinoma. Okay? Okay. Almost 100% EBV positive in the Chinese population. Okay? Sa mga US naman, wala akong data sa Pinoy eh. Okay, 75% naman yung mga sa US population. Okay? Yung nasopharyngeal carcinoma, if you are a Chinese, uh, almost 100% ng case ng mga Chinese ay due to Epstein-Barr virus. Okay? Okay. So, human herpes simplex. So, it is a common mucosal viral infection that presents with localized blistering. Okay? Can reside in a latent stage. You have type 1, okay? Uh, Typically facial oral infections, cold sores, fever, blisters occurs mainly in infants and young kids, and type 2 mainly genital, occur after puberty, often transmitted sexually. Okay? So how do you get the disease? Okay? Or how does this manifest? Okay? So in the prodromal stage, you will see vesicle or blister stage. Then it will ulcerate and it will form a crust. Then the virus will grow in down the nerves and out into the skin, forming a localized blistering. You will have neuralgia, pain. Okay? You will have pain here kasi remember, nagdo-dormant sila sa mga dorsal root mo, yung 1 at 2. Okay? So it affects the nerves. So therefore, the pain here is caused by the virus itself being there in the nerves themselves. Okay? Of course, this is a virus. Your lymph will filter it. Therefore, there's going to be lymphadenopathy. And if you have lymphadenopathy, of course, you will have a response of fever. Okay? Recurrences can be triggered by minor trauma, other infections, UV radiation, hormonal factors, environmental stress, operations, procedures on face. Okay? Complication mo, you have your encephalopathy, and then your trigeminal neuralgia or your neurogenic pain. What's trigeminal nerve? Saan yung nakikita ang trigeminal nerve? Anyone? Anafi? It is a cranial nerve. Diba? Meron siyang three division, the ophthalmic, mandibular. Ano yung isa? Optic ba yun? Okay? So remember that you can see here that it can form oral facial infections. So yung pisngi ninyo, pag meron yan, it can stay dormant in the dorsal root ganglia of your trigeminal nerve. So when it happens, no, the pain will linger. Okay? The pain will linger kasi nandun sila, therefore causing a trigeminal neuralgia. Tick, tick, it can cause tics. Basta yun, no? I have a patient who had this one. Talagang umiiyak siya sa sakit. Okay? Ang gamot natin doon, sorry. Ang ginagamot natin doon, yung mga gamot, yung mga yung mga anti-seizure, no, gabapentin, pregabalin. Have you heard of pregabalin, Lyrica? No? So these are for neuropathic pain caused by neuralgia. Okay? So this can also be given in patients with diabetic neuropathy. So ibig sabihin yung mga pasyente na manhid ang ugat gawa ng diabetes. You can give gabapentin and your pregabalin. Of course, if there's an active infection, the treatment will always be acyclovir. ACYCLOVIR or your valacyclovir. Medyo mahal kasi ito ay 5 times a day for 7 days. Okay? Next, we have varicella or the chicken pox. What is it? It is a highly contagious disease, typically childhood disease before the 10 years of age, and one infection thought to confer lifelong immunity because you have only one strain of this one. Okay? So varicella zoster virus, HH human herpes virus 3. Tama ba ako? Tama. Okay? So your human herpes virus 3 is actually your varicella, also known as chickenpox virus and your varicella zoster. It's highly infectious from person to person, aerosol droplets. So therefore, kailangan mag-mask and direct contact with fluid from an open sore. Plus, if the patient is still blistering and you can see that fluid is still coming out from his or her skin, that contains the viral particles. That is very infectious. However, if the patient is already healing, there will be crusting, matutuyo yung sugat niya, there will be crusting, and the crust can aerosolize, no? Therefore, it can travel from air that is still infectious, so hindi ka pa rin sure. So that is why the best way for a person to prevent the infection of your varicella is to isolate. Okay? So incubation period will take up to 2 weeks, and then initial mucosal infection, then you have viremia and your epidermal lesion, and may lead to latent infection of the dorsal ganglion cells of your sensory nerve. Remember, it's not the motor nerve, it's your sensory nerve. Okay? Let's be clear on that. Your sensory nerves will only sense. Therefore, there's going to be pain. Not your motor nerves. Your motor nerves are what? They are the ones who are responsible for motion. Okay? Shingles is the reactivation of the latent varicella zoster virus in peripheral nerves. Signs, makate, nagsisimula sa muka, face and extremities, may cover the entire body, high fever, headache, cold-like, and symptoms of vomiting and diarrhea. It's just a clinical diagnosis. No, there's no test needed for it. But if you want to be sure, you can do immunofluorescence and test for elevated VZV specific antibodies, primary infection, and IgG for secondary infection. Okay? Symptomatic, it resolves on its own, but you can give acyclovir pa rin. Okay? You can give acyclovir pa din because hindi naman natin nahabol yung gagaling yung pasyente kasi mag ano naman yan eh. But the communicability kasi niya, no, the infectiousness of the person can be resolved if you will take a cyclovir. Okay? Pag buntis, dito talaga ako medyo maingat pag buntis yung isang pasyente. Because during pregnancy, it can cause what we call a congenital varicella syndrome, wherein the pregnant women can have abortion in 3 to 8% in the first trimester, or what you call an intrauterine growth restriction. Okay, again, intrauterine growth restriction. That's your IUGR. So meaning, hindi man mamatay si baby, magre-restrict naman yung growth niya sa loob ng uterus ng nanay. Okay? In the skin, it can cause cutaneous defects and hypopigmentation. Kapag tumama sa brain ng baby, it can cause intrauterine encephalitis, brain damage, seizure, and developmental delay. In the eye, it can cause chorioretinitis, cataracts, and anisocoria. In the musculoskeletal, it can cause limb hypoplasia. Yun ang ayaw natin. Para siyang kulang sa binte, maliit. Okay? And if systemic, it can cause cerebral cortical atrophy. Okay? Next, you have renal causes, your hydronephrosis, hydroureter, GI, GORD, anong GORD? Gastro, ah, parang GERD ito. Hindi, ito na yung GORD. Utang ko muna tong GORD ha. Baka nagka-typo lang ako. I-review ko yung notes ko. In the CVS, it's your congenital heart defects. Perinatal naman, pagka nanganak na, okay? The baby can have a severe mortality of 30%. Okay? We're down to the bacterial causes. Okay? Wait lang uli. Yung lang tubig. For the bacterial cause, Okay? Superficial bacterial infection ang impetigo, school source, no? It is most common in schools and very contagious, spread by close contacts, poor hygiene, and usually resolves slowly. Mostly nagkakos nito ay staph, sometimes strep, di-differentiate natin, can lead to glomerulonephritis or rheumatic fever if strep. Okay, sasabihin ko na, no? So, there's what we call uh, streptococcus can cause uh, okay. Kung ikaw bata ka, nagkaroon ka ng streptococcal pharyngitis, tonsillitis to, okay? Tas gumaling ka, tapos meron kang impetigo, tas gumaling ka, edi walang problema. But there are some cases that these two can uh, form during the infection period, they can form actually antibodies, no? Antibodies, and this can cause acute post-streptococcal glomerulonephritis and rheumatic heart fever causing rheumatic heart disease. Okay? Saka na natin to i-discuss pag nasa kidney at nasa heart na tayo. I just want to highlight as early as now that when you are infected with a streptococcal infection in any form, no, sa lalamunan, sa balat, you can have a possibility of developing an acute post-streptococcal glomerulonephritis and a rheumatic heart fever causing rheumatic heart disease. I thought these two were were uncommon. When I did my rotation sa hospital, ang common pala niya, parang talagang makikita mo na nagmamanas yung mga baby. Okay, tapos yung iba nagka-RHD, no? So nagkaka-murmur talaga sila sa heart. Okay? So that's what I want to emphasize, no? In cases of impetigo caused by your streptococcus or pharyngitis caused by your streptococcus, you can develop these two type of diseases which is secondary, no, to the production of an antibody during the initial infection by your streptococcus. Okay? Okay. Pag Staph aureus ang nag-cause, that's bullous. If streptococcus ang nag-cause, that's non-bullous. Okay? So how do you differentiate uh how do you differentiate staph and strep? Okay? Pinaghiwalay ko kasi siya. Ito yung una. Okay? You can see here they are both gram stain positive. They are positive for gram stain na cocci. Therefore, ang maghihiwalay talaga sa kanilang dalawa is the catalase. Okay? Is the catalase. So let's explain this. Okay, so medyo mahaba to class ha. Ano paghiwalay ko na pala? Streptococci. Okay. So when pinag-gram stain kayo and you see ay uh, positive cocci, okay, matututunan nyo naman ito sa bakte, okay? You will do a catalase test, okay? And if it is negative, okay? If it is negative, then then you can now identify it as a Streptococci species, okay? And then here, you can now yung colony mo, okay? You will now identify it sa mga different agar mo, sa may blood agar plate mo. If it is a beta hemolytic, if it is an alpha hemolytic, or if it is a non-hemolytic, okay? So, if it is a beta hemolytic, you do your PYR or your bacitracin disc. If it is, parang ano to class, antibiotic to, okay? Kapag positive or susceptible siya, then that is classified as your group A Streptococci pyogenes. If it is a negative or resistant, that magkoconduct ka muna ng hipurate hydrolysis or your CAMP test. Okay? If it is negative, okay, you do bile escalin, but if it is positive, then that's your group B Streptococci or your group B strep, which is your streptococcal o your Streptococcus agalactiae. Okay? Bile esculin kung negative ka dito, hindi mo kagad ano no, kasi madami pa siyang magiging second step eh. In bile esculin test, if it is negative, then you can now say that it is a beta hemolytic streptococci, but not groups A or B or D. If it is positive, you will now do again PYR in 6.5% sodium chloride. If it is positive, then that's enterococcus. If it is negative, then that's group B. Okay? So you have to memorize this chart. Okay? As early as now, i-memorize nyo na ito para hindi naman kayo mahirapan na sa third year. Actually, mahirapan pa rin naman. Pero at the same time, um, tawag dito, medyo familiar na kayo. Okay? If it is alpha hemolytic, you do optochin disc. This is an antibiotic again. If it is susceptible, then that's Streptococcus pneumoniae. If it is resistant, you do bile esculin. Okay? Bile esculin test, if positive, sorry, if negative, then that is your Viridans group. If positive sa bile esculin, you do PYR kasi kailangan mo differentiate kung Enterococcus or group D ang iyong species. So if it is a positive, that's your enterococcal species. If it is a group D, if it is negative, then that is a group D. Okay? Kung non-hemolytic naman sa blood agar plate, you do bile esculin, diretso na. Pag positive, you do PYR. And then kapag ka-positive, so sa PYR, then that's your Enterococcus species. And then negative, that's your group D. Okay? Parang dito lang. Okay? If it is negative, then that's a non-hemolytic streptococci. Okay? Ngayon, paano kung, kasi ito, remember, this is catalase negative. It all began in the simple catalase test. Okay? But what if it is catalase positive? Then you will now entertain the thought that the gram-positive cocci, okay, is a staphylococcal in origin. Okay? Negative dito, streptococci, pero nag-positive ka sa catalase, then ang mind mo mag-shift into identifying it as a staphylococcal species. The next step for this is you will do coagulase test. Okay? If that is a positive, then that's a Staphylococcus aureus. Okay? However, if negative, okay, you do oxidase bacitracin susceptibility test. Okay? If that is susceptible, then that is a micrococcal species. Kapag resistant, okay, that's a coagulase negative Staphylococcus species. Okay? Again, you do a novobiocin susceptibility kapag ka nag-negative ka dito. Kung susceptible ka, that's a coagulase negative staph. That's a true coagulase negative staph. Okay? However, if it is resistant to the novobiocin test, then Staphylococcus saprophyticus is your organism. Okay? However, I would like to highlight this one. Okay? Coagulase negative. Okay? Huwag kayong basta agad-agad magre-report ng coagulase negative. Okay? You have two types of coagulase. You have your slide coagulase, which detects bound coagulase. Only bound coagulase. Okay? Okay? Pero if positive siya, no, so that's Staph aureus talaga agad. Okay? However, okay, kung nag-negative ka sa slide coagulase mo, do not report it immediately as a do not report it agad as negative. Okay? If negative ka sa slide coagulase, if note, okay, do not report immediately as negative. Okay? Proceed to tube test. Di bale class, huwag kayong mag-alala kasi tube test naman agad yung ginagamit natin. So this is just in comparison to the slide and the tube test na ginagawa for coagulase. Okay? We're doing tube test naman talaga in the bacte. Okay? However, for a slide coagulase kasi baka kasi confuse yung iba. Okay? Proceed to tube test. Okay? So, tube test kasi it is used to test for free coagulase. Okay? Ang gamit mo dito is rabbit plasma, then incubate. Okay? Okay? Incubate at 4 hours but not more than 24 hours. Okay? Do not, do not incubate for more than 4 hours. Okay? Kasi if exceeded, okay, pwedeng maging false negative siya. Okay? Bakit? Remember that Staph aureus just does not only produce staphylocoagulase but also produce staphylokinase. Okay? Remember that your Staph aureus, sorry, S aureus, will also produces two enzyme, no? Your staphylocoagulase and your staphylokinase. Okay? So if negative ka talaga dito, no? If negative, okay? Wag mo pa rin i-report, no? You incubate pa rin for more than 24 hours. Okay? For 20 hours. If negative siya dyan, then negative talaga siya. Okay? So, ilan ang total mo pag negative, no? 24 hours. 4 dito, tapos 20 dito. Okay? So, where are we? Okay? So, I would like to differentiate, remember here in your streptococci, plus kulang ako ng table, isisingit ko na lang mamaya, okay? In your this table class, okay? Yung alpha hemolytic mo dito, yung nandun sa table natin kanina, 'di ba? If you can, ayoko na kasi mag ano zoom out no. Just look at the handout. You have your Streptococcus pneumoniae and your viridans group. So what's the difference between these two? Your Streptococcus pneumoniae is resistant, sorry, is susceptible to vancomycin, while your viridans group is susceptible also to vancomycin. S. pneumonia is susceptible to bacitracin, while it is resistant to viridans group. Okay? Your SMG, your sulfamethoxazole, uh, is susceptible, I, S. pneumonia is susceptible to your SMZ and is also susceptible to viridans group. Optochin, susceptible ka sa S. pneumoniae pero resistant ang viridans group sa kanya. Okay? PYR, parehong negative. Bile solubility, uh, positive, negative. Okay? Mouse virulence, positive, negative. And then Neufeld-Queloz, that's positive and negative. Okay? S pneumonia class, yung I would like to highlight this one. No? Sa S pneumonia kasi, they are an encapsulated diplococci. Okay? And they can cause adult meningitis. Okay? While viridans group can cause subacute bacterial endocarditis. Okay? Class Diplococci, I would like to add a note on this. Diplococci mo kasi, meron kang ma-encounter na dalawa. Pinaka-common kasi is Neisseria gonorrhea, okay? And your strep pneumonia. Okay? So there's a difference between these two. Okay? Huwag kayong maguguluhan kasi si S. pneumonia ay diplococci pero gram positive na encapsulated. Okay? Si Neisseria gonorrhea, diplococci pa rin siya pero gram negative encapsulated. Okay? Gram negative si Neisseria gonorrhea, gram positive si S. pneumonia. Okay? What about differentiation of your beta hemolytic streptococci? Nako, wala akong table, hindi ko nalagay. Pareho kasi na-repeat class sa'yo. Okay? Mali ako nang na-paste. Okay? So however, habulin ko na lang to. No? Dito, hindi. I-discuss ko na ngayon. So please do listen. For your beta hemolytic streptococci, you have three. No? S. pyogenes, S. agalactiae, and then your other species. Okay? So, para ma-differentiate nyo yan, you will use vancomycin, you will use bacitracin, you will use SMZ also, you will use optochin, you will use hipurate hydrolysis. Actually, nasa table naman na to eh. Pero syempre, i-table na nasa flowchart naman na to eh, pero table natin para di ka mahirapan. Thumb and your lap, okay? So for your S. pyogenes, pyogenes lang to class ha, Agalaxy and other species para di na mag-consume ng space. Vancomycin is susceptible, Agalaxia is susceptible, other species are also susceptible. Bacitracin is susceptible, Agalaxia is resistant, and then other species are resistant. Highlight mo to. And then SMZI resistant, and then ang Agalaxiae mo ay resistant, pneumonia mo pala ay resistant, Agalaxiae mo resistant, other species mo ay susceptible. Optochin, also known as Ritaxopi, okay? Optochin resistant, resistant, resistant. Okay? And then you have your hipurate hydrolysis, negative, positive, and then negative. PYR, positive, negative, and then negative. CAMP, negative, positive, negative, and then your lab, positive, positive, positive. Class, ganitong magpa-exam si Ma'am Red. No? Kaya sobrang hirap ng bakte. It's a joke that parang hirap na parang sinasabi nila na ang hirap talaga magbakte, no? Kasi ganito kasi yung mga makikita ninyo. You have no choice but to memorize. Okay? Again, please take a screenshot, take a picture, okay? Para ilagay nyo lang sa notes kasi hindi ko na siya mahahabol, no? So, eto naman yung inyong mga beta hemolytic strep. Okay? Para tayo. What about your Staphylococcus species? Okay? For your Staphylococcus species, you have your S. aureus, epidermidis, and saprophyticus. Okay? The colonies of your Staph aureus are creamy white to yellow. Ay, nako. Creamy white to yellow. Okay? And then ito namang S. epidermidis, white to grayish white. Okay? Saprophyticus is white, yellow, or orange. Okay? Catalase, siyempre lahat yan positive, di ba? Mhm. Tapos, coagulase, ah this is positive, this is negative, this is negative. Okay? Tapos, this one, growth sa mannitol salt agar, ang itsura nito ay yellow. Plus mannitol salt agar is kulay red. So, magbabago lang yung kulay niya kapag kayang mag-ferment ng organism ng mannitol. Remember, mannitol is a sugar that is prone to fermentation. Therefore, if there's going to be fermentation, there's going to be a change in color. Okay, so only Staph aureus can ferment the mannitol in the MSA. Therefore, yellow siya. So therefore, it is, class, you write this. Staph aureus is the only mannitol fermenter. Okay? The bacteria that is a mannitol fermenter in your mannitol salt agar. S. epidermidis, malamang hindi, no? So it will maintain the color of the agar, therefore pink red. Pag nakakita kayo ng MSA agar, it's color red. Okay? DNAs, it is positive, this is negative, this is negative. Novobiosine, this is susceptible, this is resistant. Okay? Ang sakit na kinukos ng mga Staph aureus mo, skin or wound infection, pwede kang magkaroon ng osteomyelitis. Remember, we have discussed this sa musculoskeletal. You can also have pneumonia. We will discuss this in our pulmonary topic. Okay? Then it is capable of producing toxin-related illnesses. Okay? Which is a common culprit for your food poisoning. But remember class that Staph aureus is also a skin commensal. Okay? So ano naman si S. epidermidis? S. epidermidis will cause endocarditis. It will cause endocarditis sa mga class ano yung endocarditis no? Sa heart ito. This is bacterial infection of the heart. Si S. epidermidis talaga ang cause nun. Kasi mahilig siyang mag-cling on sa shunts, sa catheters, at sa prosthesis. Hence, you have what you call a prosthetic heart valve endocarditis. Yung mga merong prosthetic heart valve class yung mga problema sa puso. Ito yung nagkakos niya. Okay? Itong saprophyticus UTI in women, in bearing childbearing age. Okay? We're not done. Okay? So, presentation, okay? Na impetigo, nandito pa lang tayo, no? Sa impetigo, the presentation of your impetigo is that occur mostly on the face, okay? Fragile vesicles rupture and crust and can be confused with an HSV. Pag non-bullous, okay, most common, okay? You have a yellow crust and erosion. It's itchy and irritating but not painful. Pag bullous impetigo, this is always due to a staph aureus, mildly irritating blisters that erode rapidly, leaving a brown crust, and ulcerative lesion always due to S. pyogenes. Most common in aboriginal communities, and it is epidemic in young children transmitted in skin contact, outbreaks associated with poor hygiene, crowded living condition. Okay? The treatment is to abstain from school kasi baka makahawa, and systemic or topical antibiotics. Usually I give combination. Okay? Next, we have your furunculosis and folliculitis. Okay? So, what is it? This is an acute pustular infection of a hair follicle that's folliculitis. Kung meron kayong parang pigsa na nandun pumalibot sa root ng inyong buhok, that's a folliculitis, no? Commonly after waxing or shaving. So that is why it's not actually, no, it's common lang talaga sa shaving, no? So that is why men are not actually advised to shave. Okay? Trim lang. Okay? Pero kung gusto niyo clean, mas safe pa rin talaga ang waxing. Okay? Boils naman is still actually a form of folliculitis but deeper. Okay? Organism involved by Staph aureus. So how do they present folliculitis? You have an erythematous pustule centered on a hair follicle. Boils naman, tender round nodule which enlarge and later discharge pus. So common to usually sa pubic hair ng mga tao. Babae, lalaki. Kung may nakita kayo na parang nana na sobrang sakit ng pubic area ninyo, then that's probably folliculitis. Okay? Abscess, usually caused by Staphylococcus aureus, begin as a superficial infection of the hair follicle, and organisms travel down the hair follicles following disruption and then development of boils or furuncles. Number of boils clustered together will form a carbuncle. So napansin ninyo, depende talaga sa itsura, sa nanggaling. Pero basically, pare-pareho lang sila. Okay? So when they form a carbuncle, it is now called as an abscess. Cellulitis, you do not want to have a cellulitis. Kinumpare to natin saan? Sa last module natin, if anyone can remember, saan natin siya kinumpare? Sa Eh, basta yun, no? Basta sa may musculoskeletal part, kinompare natin ng cellulitis. Yung cellulitis, walang limitation of range of motion, pero yung sa may musculoskeletal na part, yung sakit na yun, it has a limitation of your range of motion. Okay? It is a bacterial infection of the dermis and subcutaneous tissue. Adults have a 90% affected due to staph aureus. Okay? And then children naman is caused by your H. influenza associated with cat, dog bite, pustular, and multisoda naman dito. And it's painful, raised edematous erythema, most commonly on the lower leg, possibly blistering and lymphadenopathy, Malay, and fever. So sa children, it's common sa periorbital area, sa adults, sa lower legs. And usually this is a complication of a diabetes. Okay? So there's usually an underlying cause, lymphedema, tinea, herpes simplex, chronic sinus infection, chronic dermatitis infection, and then poor lower leg circulation, even the wounds. Necrotizing fasciitis, it is a medical emergency kasi kailangan talaga tanggalin siya. No? So it's caused by group A strep, it can be caused by staph aureus, and both cause severe systemic toxicity and could be caused by Vibrio, Clostridium, and your Bacteroides. The necrosis is a toxin mediated. Now, you can't just treat with antibiotics. Hindi kinakain ng bacteria yung laman mo. It's the toxin that's being released by the bacteria that's causing the necrotizing fasciitis. No? Type 1 is polymicrobial. Type 2 is monomicrobial infection. And then you have your gas gangrene. This is caused by your Clostridium perfringens. This is the same family that causes your tetanus infection. Pero that one is caused by your Clostridium tetani. Okay? Generally occurs at the site of trauma or recent surgical wound. Usually only occurs on poor blood supply and seen in aerobic condition. Anaerobic pala. Class member, anaerobic sila nagtatrahi. So toxins are produced caused by tissue death and associated symptoms. Ang presentation nito is inflammation at the site of infection, brownish red and extremely painful tissue swelling, and gas may be felt in the tissues when the swollen area is pressed, and margins of the infected area expand rapidly within a few minutes. Ay, wala yung treatment. Tinanggal ko. So the tissue is completely destroyed by toxin-mediated destruction. Therefore, if this is an anaerobic condition, hyperbaric oxygen therapy can be of help. So meaning part that is affected, the patient will be put under the high oxygen pressure, doon exposed. Hindi yung pasyente yung sugat lang. And then since it is an anaerobic bacteria, they will not thrive.